Hi everyone, I'm Diomer Ortiz, Senior Product Manager here at Zapier. I'm excited to be with you today at ZapConnect to talk about something core to the future of work, and that is orchestration. Zapier started with automation, but today it's much more. It's a platform where Zaps, tables, and interfaces come together to help teams build connected systems. Orchestration is about taking these building blocks, layering in AI, and making them work in concert so your business runs smarter and faster. Here's where we're headed today. We'll start with the promise of AI orchestration, why it matters, and what it unlocks. Then we'll look at orchestration with the Zapier platform and how the building blocks come together into a complete system. Next, we'll cover orchestration best practices and practical ways to design workflows that are clear and scalable. And finally, we'll bring it into focus with AI orchestration in the real world, showing concrete examples of how teams are already making this work today. By the end, you'll have a clear sense of what orchestration is, why it's essential, and how Zapier makes it something you can start applying right away. When we talk about orchestration, it is easy to think of it as just another buzzword. But the promise of AI orchestration is much bigger than that. It is about unlocking a new way of working, where your apps, your data, your people, and now AI all operate as one connected system. The shift is not theoretical, it is already underway. Companies everywhere are rethinking how they run their operations, and orchestration is quickly moving from nice to have to must have. So let's ground this promise in what is happening across the market today and why it matters so much. First, adoption is accelerating. By 2025, 80% of organizations are expected to move from basic automations to advanced orchestration. This is becoming the default way modern businesses run. Second, the impact is clear. Companies using AI orchestration report up to 40% lower operational costs thanks to efficiency gains and smarter data driven decisions. And third, orchestration scales. Some businesses are seeing nearly 5 times the output with the same resources because their systems work together instead of in silos. Put simply, AI orchestration is no longer optional. It is already a competitive advantage today, and soon it will be the baseline for how work gets done. So we've seen why AI orchestration is becoming essential. Adoption is accelerating, the impact is measurable, and the scale can be transformative. The next question is how to actually make it real. This is where Zapier comes in. Our platform is built to help you orchestrate end-to-end systems, bringing together the pieces you already use and layering in AI where it creates the most value. So let's take a look at the building blocks of orchestration on the Zapier platform and how they work together. The platform is built on 3 building blocks. Tables gives you a place to organize and manage workflow data, acting as a single source of truth where automation data is stored and ready to use. Interfaces are where people connect into your workflows. They make it easy to create forms and tools that capture input and trigger automations. And Zaps are what tie everything together. They automate work across 8,000 apps, ensuring data and actions move between systems seamlessly. And here's something we're really excited about. These 3 products, tables, interfaces, and Zaps, are now coming together in one plan. That means every customer has the full set of building blocks to orchestrate end-to-end workflows without having to piece it together. On top of that, AI spans the entire platform. With AI by Zapier, you can enrich, classify, and summarize data directly inside workflows. And with agents, you can take a step further, creating digital teammates that can query systems, take actions, and even manage multi-step processes across your apps. Together, tables, interfaces, and Zaps, AI by Zapier, and agents form a complete orchestration platform. It's simple enough to start quickly and powerful enough to scale into the systems that run your business. Now let's look at Tables by Zapier, the structured foundation for your workflows. Managing workflow data is often messy. It gets scattered across spreadsheets, siloed tools, or even emails. Tables gives you one place inside of Zapier to capture and organize that data so that it's always ready for automation. You can store and organize leads, requests, or tickets in one reliable place. Because Tables is built for automation, updates can trigger Zaps instantly, whether that's updating a CRM, sending a Slack message, or kicking off a process. And you can track progress over time so your team always knows where things stand. Think of it as a database designed for automation, simple to use, but powerful enough to keep your workflows running smoothly. Next, we have interfaces by Zapier, the way teams connect into automated workflows. Automation is not only about moving data between apps, people still need to provide input or make requests. And interfaces makes that easy with no code forms and portals. You can use interfaces to collect input like capturing a lead, logging a request, or submitting an update. And that action can instantly trigger the next step in Zapier. In short, interfaces lets people interact with workflows without slowing them down, keeping automation human-centered and scalable. Finally, let's talk about Zaps by Zapier, the product that started it all. Zaps are the core of the platform and remain one of the most powerful ways to drive impact. With over 8,000 integrations, they connect your apps so data moves automatically from one step to the next. At their simplest, Zaps automate tasks like copying data, sending notifications, or updating records instantly. They also connect your apps, keeping information in sync instead of siloed. And Zaps can scale into multi-step workflows that run reliably in the background. So you are not just automating tasks, but building end-to-end processes while your team focuses on higher value work. Zaps are where Zapier began, and they remain the backbone of the platform. Combined with tables and interfaces, they orchestrate complex workflows that span processes, apps, and now AI. We just walked through the core building blocks: tables, interfaces, and Zaps. Together, they give you the foundation to capture, store, and automate work. Now, let's look at how AI builds on that foundation, starting with AI by Zapier. The power here is its simplicity. You don't need an API key, a vendor contract, or prompt engineering skills. It's built right into the platform, so you can drop it into a Zap and it just works. Teams use it to summarize and respond with polished drafts, classify and triage messages so nothing slips through, and customize behavior with a simple prompt builder. AI by Zapier is the fastest way to add intelligence into workflows. And because it's part of the platform, it scales as your orchestration grows. Agents represent the next level of AI on the Zapier platform. While AI by Zapier makes individual steps smarter, agents operate at a broader scope, functioning as digital teammates that can manage entire processes end to end. You can equip agents with your company's knowledge and connect them to more than 8,000 apps. That gives them the ability to query your data and return accurate answers, take action by updating records or send messages, and automate proactively by handling tasks like reminders or CRM cleanups without waiting for a manual trigger. They can also work on the web through the Chrome extension, analyzing pages, gathering information, and sending it directly into your workflows. What makes agents powerful is how they extend orchestration. Instead of stitching together steps one by one, you can give an agent a broader responsibility and it will orchestrate across tools and processes on your behalf. We've discussed the promise of AI orchestration and the components of the Zapier orchestration platform. Let's now talk about orchestration best practices to help you get started and set yourself up for success. Before we jump into best practices, it is helpful to pause and recognize that all of these tools, whether it's Zaps, tables, or interfaces, follow a very similar pattern. It always starts with a trigger event, which is the capture moment. Something happens, a form is submitted, a record is created, or a new email arrives. Next comes structuring and managing that data so that it is ready for the workflow. This is where you hold information in a consistent place, add context, or enrich it with AI, and where you can apply filters or routing rules to shape what happens next. And finally, you get to an action driven output, which is the automation step. The workflow moves forward automatically, whether that is sending data into another app, updating a record, or notifying a teammate. Once you understand capture, store, and automate, orchestration gets much easier to design and scale. You are no longer looking at three separate products, you are looking at a shared foundation you can apply consistently across the platform. And that brings us to best practices, where we will look at how to use this pattern thoughtfully so that your orchestrations are clear, scalable, and resilient. Here are some helpful best practices to get you started. Map before you build. Use Canvas to sketch the flow of capture, store, automate. This surfaces dependencies and helps you spot where AI or human input should fit in before you commit to building. Use interfaces as controlled entry points. Rather than letting data trickle in from everywhere, design interfaces as the front door for requests, approvals, or submissions. This keeps input consistent and reduces cleanup later. Store structured, automation ready data in tables. Don't just use tables as a spreadsheet replacement. Normalize fields like dropdowns, statuses, owner fields. So the data is structured and reliable for downstream Zaps. Connect Zaps to outcomes, not just actions. Instead of building Zaps for one off tasks, design them to move work toward a clear outcome. Example, lead routed and acknowledged versus lead added to CRM. This reduces Zap sprawl and keeps orchestration tied to business goals. Layer in AI where it reduces friction. Apply AI by Zapier or agents at high friction points like triaging inbound requests, summarizing context, or enriching data. Don't overcomplicate it. Use AI to remove human bottlenecks, not replace judgment everywhere. Design for human in the loop. Even with automation and AI, build in checkpoints. For example, have interfaces for approvals or reviews, or use our recently released human in the loop functionality. This keeps orchestration safe and trusted. And finally, standardize naming and ownership. Name apps, tables, and interfaces in a consistent way and assign clear owners. This makes it easier to scale orchestration across teams without confusion or duplication. We've just talked about the principles and best practices that make orchestration work. Things like capturing input consistently, centralizing data, and automating toward clear outcomes. Now I want to show you what it looks like in practice. Because orchestration isn't just a theory, it's already being used across different functions, from sales teams managing approvals to HR tracking applicants to knowledge handling their inboxes with AI. In the next few examples, you'll see how Zapier brings together interfaces, tables, and Zaps with AI woven throughout to solve real business problems in a way that is fast, scalable, and human centered. Let's start with sales and revenue operations, where speed really matters. In a typical deal desk process, approvals get stuck in email threads, reps chase down managers, and updates to the CRM are delayed. That slows down deals and reduces visibility. With Zapier, this process is orchestrated end to end. Quotes created in HubSpot trigger the workflow. Tables provide centralized tracking of approvers, roles, and statuses, while Zaps route requests into Slack, enforce reminders if approvals get delayed, and update HubSpot automatically with the outcome. The result is faster cycles, fewer bottlenecks, and a clear record of every approval. Next, let's look at HR and recruiting. Hiring teams often judge applications in spreadsheets or email inboxes, which leads to missed follow ups and a poor candidate experience. With Zapier, the process is orchestrated. Candidates apply through an interface job posting form, applications are stored and managed in a table, and a Zap notifies the team immediately when a new applicant comes in. The tracker interface then provides a Kanban view where recruiters can move candidates through stages, add notes, and update statuses. This turns a messy manual process into a structured workflow that keeps both candidate and hiring teams aligned. Finally, let's step into productivity. For many of us, email is a huge time sink, with hours spent triaging and scanning messages. The AI email assistant template uses Zapier to streamline that. Zaps trigger on new incoming emails, run them through AI to categorize and summarize, and then store them in a table with the key details. Interfaces provide a clean inbox view by category where you can archive or reply quickly. Instead of drowning in your inbox, you focus only on what matters most, while AI handles the heavy lifting behind the scenes. Across these three examples, sales approvals, hiring, and inbox management, the pattern is the same. Capture, store, and automate with Zapier's building blocks, with AI woven throughout. That's orchestration in action, and it's how you move from fragmented tasks to connected systems at scale. All right, let's wrap up with three big takeaways. First, connected systems win. The real value of orchestration comes when apps, data, people, and AI work together. Automated workflows are a great start, but connected systems are what create resilience and long-term impact. Second, AI is a multiplier. On its own, AI can feel noisy or fragmented, but when it's layered into structured systems, it multiplies efficiency and clarity. It turns orchestration from being faster to being smarter. And finally, it's time for you to make your move. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Start small, use Zapier's building blocks, and build on proven patterns. Each step you take creates momentum, and over time, that momentum compounds into scale. So if there's one thing I hope you take away, it's this. Orchestration is hard, but it's essential. And with Zapier, you have the tools to get started today. Thank you for your time. I hope you found this insightful, and I hope you take advantage of all of our other sessions going on today at ZapConnect 2025.
As time went on and I was able to start really showing the value of Zapier to Vendasta and the team there, then we were able to get buy-in for the enterprise plan, which has been huge for the company. We've been able to increase the amount of Zaps that we're using, continue scaling our operations, and it's been awesome to have access to the customer support team and support directly at Zapier when it comes to needing some more help with technical Zaps and needing suggestions on how we can improve the Zaps we've already built, how we can improve future Zaps we want to build, and just learning the new things that Zapier is releasing and how we can implement them into our workflows to just further improve the way we operate internally at Vendasta.